Alrighty, so welcome back to another installment of Global Tanks League. This game tonight is brought to you by Got a Dinghy. Dinghy, welcome to the room.
Hello, thank you.
And alongside me in the booth is Enraged Tankers of No Limits, also in the same league as these guys. I'm playing them shortly after. So this is the North American Champions League. This is between, as of the standings last week, number 1 and number 2. Kind of who everyone has said were sort of favourites to win it. So it should be a good game. I'll find out from the teams now what map they want. Steps, North Spawn.
Yeah, I can help you out here. So I just sit and watch. Get the front spawns. So steps. Left is south, so the right is north.
Nearly went on Sandstorm. Alright, so I'm going to change these guys over then. And now it gets confusing.
Just spectate all the chief guys. That's how I do it. It works pretty good.
I think that is everyone. Oh no, Revered. Revered's going to confuse me in all of this.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Right. Double check. Clans are ready. Yeah, looks like they are ready. So we'll start that timer. So Chiefs, being the home team, have elected to go for steps and the North Spawn first. No map has seen them practice a lot. So it'll be interesting to see what they have in store. I know Nightmare have been running this map quite a lot. They've really turned things around, coming out with I think 3 wins in their last 3 games, and this has kind of been their go-to.
They're starting to pick up some wins. Looks like they're gaining some chemistry as they're going along the tournament. So it's nice to see.
It is.
Starting to tighten up the scores.
Especially with their misfortune in the clan, with a couple of people leaving right after the first game, and they were kind of, because the rosters are locked, they were sort of limited on people that they could play. So it's good to see that the ones who stuck it out are reaping the rewards now.
Yes, sir.
And kind of, I think for them it's damage limitation. Just make sure that they can keep that spot in the Champions League for next season.
Yeah.
And build off the back of that.
Yeah, it'll be a fight for that. I know. The scores are going to end up being pretty tight at the end, I think, and it'll be teams fighting to stay in the Championship League, along with trying to get a good playoff run.
And how are things going over in the NL camp? It's been a little bit of a busy week for me, so I've not managed to keep an eye on a lot of things. We've obviously got a game up next against KYS.
Yeah, we got KYS and we played NFTG. They played really well. It was a good fight. They took one from us. And we're sorting out some clan issues, but we're putting along and getting better as a team. People who are playing.
Have I? Press the wrong button. Let's swap myself over. 2, 4, 6. So 40 seconds coming up on the clock now. Chief still to pick one more tank. And I think... Are they going to pull out an artillery? I mean, why? Unless they're having party issues, I don't see why they would have. Like, yeah, there we go. I thought there was a delay for a reason. So KYS coming out with 2 Batchats, an i7, a 277, 2 Super Conks, and a 5A. Chief coming out with the T92, the T100 Batchat, 2 i7s, 2 Super Conks, and a 5A. This is round 1, and we're going to get underway. So I'd say KOS with that kind of a lineup, we're probably just going to trade it out in the early stages of the game, but with an artillery, that's kind of put a halt to that, I would imagine. Unless they're just going to try and ride it out. But definitely with Magna being in a light tank, it's going to be spots for days. And I imagine that's going to be his goal, is just to give the artillery something to shoot at.
Yeah, and most teams mostly send their heavies down to the 8-9 line to brawl it out with even HE rounds, I'm guessing. While the Batchats and light tanks try to spot each other out, get some vision on the enemy team from the mid / left side, 1-2.
And then usually here you would see, as I think KYS is going to be doing, they would send 2 of their mediums up through the 1-2 line. I imagine they're going right in after the artillery, but they're sending up 2 heavies as well. I think they want to get that artillery out as quickly as they can. And it looks like they're almost going to just ignore the cap here and make a big push to try and get a couple of chief tanks out early as the 5A goes into the middle and takes the shot for 400.
Asmo, took a shot there.
Asmodeus and his Batchat as well, taking a shot. Rated in 5A
like
coming in, delivering another nice shot.
Might take another one here from the Super Conk as he's trying to run away. He manages to get out. Artillery's still not spotted for that aggressive push, so it was kind of a failed attempt in their part, but would have been a good risk if they would have got him.
KYS committing all of their heavies down through the middle now. Magna trying to get some spots. He's taken a lot of damage, down to 624 hit points. Pure Light has fired. Doesn't look like he connected onto anyone. Oh, he did. Tanks in the IS-7 for about 800, 900.
Looks like
Morality
Asmo and this Batchat's gonna rotate. Morality in the open.
Morality out in the open. Not the best place to be.
No, I feel like KYS is just trying to get some map control here, kind of pinch them all in a single location behind that tracks.
Yeah,
Reality taking some big hits.
It's clever from KYS. They didn't want to set up in the middle, in the usual 8-9 spot. As Virality now down to a one-shot. Stuck's coming in for the kill. Will he get it?
Rexio trying to get to him, trying to help him out.
Stuck's fires and bounces on Virality as Rexio comes in, and Maximus as well to try and support, but Chief kind of read it early and have set themselves up in a good position to counter the push. I mean, Pure Light not being spotted is huge for them right now. As your
Looks
beard
like
takes
the
out Virality.
Might rotate on get Magna Flash Boys to flush that IS-7 out. It's probably their goal. CO one shot.
Yep.
Sucks.
Here come the 2 Batchats in now. Down goes Rexio. Chief now with a 2-tank lead, but that will change as the 2 Batchats of KYS come in with rear shots into the I-7. Magna trying to keep them at bay. EK Gaming's taking a big hit. That must have been artillery for 800. And Stuck's now coming back to support Magna with his IS-7. So KYS really in a bit of a bad situation here. 2 tanks down.
They do have good map control, but they're really spread out, and they're just losing their trades at the moment.
Yeah, they're bleeding quite heavily, aren't they? Magna down to a one-shot on 96. I think that was Genuine. I missed it, but Genuine going down on a reload now. I think they're trying to draw Stux in his I7 towards Genuine Jokers, who's now forced to reload as well.
And
I know he
even
wasn't
go to
reloaded, it
the
was Desmodius.
tanks and Rupture Ninja, they're both half hit points too, so you've got to be thinking Chief's going to make a play here pretty soon.
That artillery has paid dividends here for Chiefs as they take a 3-tank lead now. Stux down to a 1-shot as well as Magna.
Revered going to be loaded here. The rated M and Revered might got to make a play here. Revered catching Rupture.
Yeah. Revered, Rated, and Hatch both pushing in now to try and eliminate the 277 and the I7. Revered down to 800 hit points. Rated looked to have bounced his shot there. As down goes Rupture Ninja. Pure Light in the T92 is having a field day here. Tanks down to 1 and goes out. Magna does eventually fall on Chief side, as Stux managed to rotate back to the artillery and safety behind the rails. As the Batchats now farm on the 2 super conks at the back. Down goes Maximus at the 5A, and it's just the 1 bat left for KYS. Quite sure how many shots Desmodius has got, but it looks like he's going to rotate out and try and stop Chief from getting that bonus point for destroying all tanks. I think Revered's going to read that. No, he's rotating back to try and get Stux out, I think.
As soon as he gets spotted again, they're going to know where he is. Right now, they think he's falling back and trying to get away.
Clever play from Desmodius, really. He's going to draw them all out and may even be able to go in and just get that artillery out as a little bit of payback, I think. If they don't spot him.
Yeah.
But there we go, yeah.
He's spotted.
Ben and the Superconk does spot him. 1 shot in. Ben gets ammo racked. And Desmodius now on a reload doesn't have a lot. There we go. Goes down to IB Stux on a 1 shot. So game 1 going to Chiefs. A fairly comprehensive win. Have a look there. Oh yeah, Pure Light just under 5k in the artillery. I would say that was
ouch. And I think
definitely a planned.
KYS had the right idea in trying to get that artillery out. Artillery out early. It just kind of, he got spotted early, and I think. Running the artillery, you kind of expect teams to try to make that aggressive play to get them out early, so you can try to counter that, which they did quite well. So good game, GG to them. Make sure my mic wasn't muted.
Let's get these tank picks underway.
Be interesting to see if they had the same strategy from the south with running the artillery.
Ready? Start the timer on there. Yeah, I'm a little bit shell-shocked, to be honest, because we know Chiefs' form is to lose the first game, and they've won it. So I don't really know what's going on.
Yeah, kind of got the monkey off their back.
Yeah, it looks... it doesn't look like the daunting super team of KYS is phasing them one bit. Pretty bold going with an artillery and then holding back on that line. They must have known that was the counter to it and set themselves up for it. I don't think they really had a chance to set up for any other strategy. Yeah. Like you said, with KYS's tanks being spotted so early.
And I'm surprised that the T9... Well, it must... I would suggest that... whoever was running the artillery, I forget who it was, Pure Light, go buy a lottery
Feel
ticket
like, yeah.
after this. Go buy a lottery ticket after this game because he was hitting a lot of his shots with the
Oh, he
T92
enjoys
and
it.
its accuracy. I would.
I'd say almost as much as the artillery lover in your clan, GBR Warrior. He loves the artillery as
Yeah.
much.
I don't know
remember
if
in a scrim.
GBR is more about loves the artillery, but he just loves the fact that he knows when he hits someone with that artillery, they're gonna be angry with him.
There's going to be some hate mail in the post.
Yeah. He gets off on that. It was kind of funny, but I guess we all do. You know, there's been times where I've deliberately played like a waffle or a Death Star just because I know how they're gonna react when they get smoked for 1800. Because I do the same thing. Based on my
Seems to
game
be
tag,
more
I
of
rage.
a conventional lineup here from Chiefs again, holding that last tank. Pick.
I would
And,
safe to assume that it'll be more of a brawl by the cap circle there, more than the last one. But you never know. Both teams opting to run bad chats.
Still a minute on the clock.
They'll still have that vision.
And
Chief will,
KYS then,
Chief will
with their 8 tanks coming out with 2 bats, an I7, a 277, 2 super conks, and 2 5As, pretty much the same as last time. Chief here, still within their time limit, deselected on 1 tank as Hatch picks out the T92 this time. And we're going to get from Rated. Rated, of course, the caller for Chief was kind of guaranteed to play.
Rated City lagged out.
Having some issues.
Now there he's back in there.
Is that him back in?
Yep.
Alrighty, so Chief coming out with a T92, an I7, 2 super conks, a bat chat, another I7, T100, and a 5A. This is round 2. Chief's currently leading 1-0. And we will get this one underway.
Now, I like Chief having that light tank. I think gives a nice little advantage when it comes to getting some vision on him, especially having that T92.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I just don't know where they're gonna set the T92 up this time in case he does try to get spotted, unless KYS tries to try to spot him early again.
So I'd imagine Magna probably doing a run up into H3. Into the little bush over there to get the early spots. It's not really going to see anything that commits down low though. Imagine KYS again are going to push those 2 bats down the 1-2 line. It'd be interesting to see where they commit the heavies, if they do the same kind of tactic through the mid. Mid here. Magna looks like he's going to go through mid.
Yep. There's a little bush there that he'll probably go sit in. That usually works well for a light tank.
So Hatch early on getting himself off. A decent spawn for a T92. I wonder.
Able to spot EK Gaming's.
Did spot up the 1 bat as the rest of the heavies got over the tracks relatively early and pushed down low. That's pretty standard, that, isn't it? To just avoid getting spotted early. I mean, fortunately, in encounter mode,
it's just vision. Vision is like really a great tool to have early, especially in these top tier games.
Yeah, exactly. You just never know if someone's going to flank. And getting some spots up early on as there we go. The
So,
super
like,
conk and the 2 5As.
So like now that
probably
they got
safely.
most of their heavy tanks spotted there, Chief knows kind of somewhat what they're planning to do. That's just the advantage of early vision. You kind of know you got 4 heavy tanks pushing the ball. You can kind of evolve your strategy around it now.
Yep. It's like Revered's going to take a spot up on the hill. Kind of a standard position to try and counter any sort of a flank. There's no doubt the flank will be going down. Looks like KYS have committed down low, have they? Towards the cap.
Mm-hmm. Which is, I think, smart on. Well, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know how well that artillery position works or where the shots you can get. But if I was KYS, especially that I don't know fully, that's where I would be too. It's a little bit harder for artillery to hit shots down there.
Yeah, anyway, where you can just get some amount of cover, even if it is just a ridge line, will help. Any sort of disruption into the shell arc. As it looks like Ben has been held back here, as the two bats have been spotted and have been trading away with Magna. Magna down to 1100, as well as Joker's down to 900. Hatcher's fired, is back on a reload. Looks like Virality's taken a shot as well.
Magna making an aggressive play. Looks like he's trying to sneak some shots on genuine Jokers. He is spotted.
I think
now you'll have your... Go ahead.
The plan here from KYS must surely be to commit Chief into a push that they don't want to make. Chief going with the artillery have obviously set up to let the artillery do the work it can and avoid pushing. Like KYS now going to completely prove me wrong if they push up quite aggressively down low. But they are giving up the higher ground in doing this. Over here, Magna still on the same. EK Gaming is taking a shot. Genuine's down to 500. Mystical Ben now exposed to any of the tanks pushing in behind him. Magna taking a 400 roll there, down to 700 hit points. And it looks like KYS is pushing in.
I think Magna's trying to go. Revered rotating back to go help with that.
Rated and Stuck's taking huge hits there, as well as Pure Lighters. Chief starting to bleed and are now down on hit points in comparison to KYS at 70 to 78%. Chief all grouped up in one little area now. They are trying to come in behind and flank.
Good push by KYS. You know, they have to push the tempo. If you don't push the tempo, you're just going to get picked apart by artillery. So good on them pushing up and putting the pressure on Chief.
Chief needs to focus here. Petraki down to a one-shot. KYS no doubt will try and get him out. If Stux can try and shield the shot, as Rupture looks to get a side shot and down. Does go Petraki, as well as Rated M. KYS coming up here with a 3-to-1 tank advantage. Mystical Ben still on full health though. Hatchback has been spotted. Revered as well on full health on a reload. As EK makes a push in on, I think, Mystical Ben. Chiefs lose all their heavies in the mid now, and it is looking like it's going to be rather one-sided as Mystical Ben has his rear facing to the onslaught. Double tap there for about 900. And another shot for 400. Hatch taking a shot as well. Looks like KYS's patience paid off. They seem to be pulling this one back now with a 6-to-1 tank lead, as it's really just Ben and Hatch.
And they knew
Hatch fell down.
They knew they couldn't just sit out on the top of the ridge line fighting with that artillery, which is why they made that aggressive push. Also, once the artillery fires, you got 40 seconds to kind of make a plan and do whatever you need to do. So, get on them. They made the correct play there, pushing. No doubt about it.
I don't know if Dingy had it on view there, but for any of the lower ranked clans wondering what separates a good clan from a less good clan, just at the end there, the focus on Revered was insane. He was deleted like within 3 seconds.
I was actually
that was mad.
Yeah, especially in tier 10 when you have 5 tier 10 guns that pen you, it goes quick.
Yeah, and that's a big difference. It's not just your focus fire; it's making sure that your shots hit and pen.
Yeah. How did the
the artillery
artillery do?
did kind of work there for Chief. I mean, he was the highest damage dealer on their team. It just didn't really work out for the rest of their tanks.
Hmm.
All in one area in KYS, although it was a small
You know, if
area to fight.
KYS were to do what they did last game and just kind of sit there and try to brawl with Chief, I think Chief would have came out on top. But they did, because the artillery was putting in work still, even with that less time that he had to work with. And you've seen what happened last game, like just about 5k damage in artillery. It could turn the tides pretty quick.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very rare that you see a team. I didn't see KYS's damage spread though, but very rarely do you see a team all doing roughly the same damage. You usually see one or two tanks who have phenomenal games, whether just down to pure skill or positioning within that kind of battle unfolding. And that kind of turns the tide between a win and a loss. Waiting here to get the map selection from KYS. Scores now.
Now, is that KYS's first round loss, or is that, or have they lost a couple already?
What's it? Really, if they want to go ahead of them here, they have to win. If coming out with a draw does them no favors. They've lost quite a few points in the previous games. KYS, I think, only in their last game did they drop 1 point. Airfield War is the map for KYS, and they want to be on the left side, of course.
Yeah, they're gonna make you work today.
Yeah. So I don't think I've actually had the pleasure of commentating on any KYS games so far. For those of you who don't know, KYS is in essence a merge of 3 clans in NS, Immortals, and 1 member of UNL. And so really these guys are from some of the best clans there have been, and are some of the best players that the game has to offer and the competitive side has to offer. That doesn't always mean that it will work out. We said from the beginning that they were going to be a team to definitely fear, but just gradually get better and better as time goes on.
Yeah, there are players that have played together for a while now, but there's also players that haven't necessarily played together. So they definitely have to build up some chemistry and kind of work with each other to make sure they're on point for all their games.
Yeah. Rupture Ninja, was it? Can't remember if it was. I think it was Rupture Ninja, who was, of course, guest commentating on a few of our games early on.
He did some of our pre-tournament games, I do believe.
Yes, it was Rupture Ninjas. One minute left on the clock. KYS coming out here with an STB1, very interesting choice. A Batchat and IS7, a Super Conqueror, 250Bs and 25As. Chiefs on the other side coming out with 2 Batchats and STB1, again, interesting choice. 2 IS7s, 2 Super Conks and a 50B. There's seconds left on the clock here. And yeah, scores over at 1-1. It's always good for morale when you can take a map off your opponent, especially if it is their map. It means you go into your map with a little bit more confidence. Be interesting to see if Chiefs can do the same here. I mean, if they win the first game, that definitely puts a lot less pressure on them. Likewise, KYS, if they win this next game, this is sort of the pressure breaker, I'd say. Because it means that at the very least, you're going to take it to a tiebreaker.
This map being the matches I've modded and while being a part of commentating, it seems like a lot of teams do like this airfield map in this tournament.
I think it offers quite a lot. You obviously have 2 main brawling points, which are on the 5-6 line. And it offers a little bit of variety. I've seen Chief on the spawn that they're on obviously run the turtle strat down the D line. I don't think they've gone with the tanks to do that. But a lot of teams will send their mediums over into the GH 5 and 6 line. To sort of battle it out and scout it out, and then commit the rest of their tanks to hunker down on the hill and the E line and around the cap. Rated early on, getting spotted and spotting the 50B in return. And of course, Batchat having its reload nerf. He's still on a reload. If here committing both Batchats and the STB to KYS's Bat and the STB1.
You wouldn't think the Batchat nerfs makes a huge difference, but it's really frustrating when you know you would have been reloaded and then you're still not reloaded, and the tank's sitting right there for you to shoot at.
Really early on, Joker's stopped and waited, made his shot count, got an early one into rated unpunished. As Box Sound's committed up to the top. Looks like that's going to prevent KYS from pushing up over into Chiefs mediums. KYS here only committing 3 through the middle. Looks like they've kept both 50Bs back.
Also keeping their WZs chilling back for now.
Chief
Maybe
keeping
4.
Magna in the Superconk back there, as well as Mystical Ben at a distance. But Magna being punished early on with a shot. Now it becomes a game of patience. And smart trades.
It's really about, again, like you said, patience. But bleeding your team out enough to feel confident and know when you make a push and you can get a couple tanks out and then go from there.
Yeah. First couple of minutes, yeah, just to reiterate what you say, in the first couple of minutes, really important to just kind of whittle your team down and punish any sort of overcommitments, so that when the push needs to happen, it can happen with kind of as minimal damage taken on your side. Now, unbeknown to Chief, Joker's is on a reload. But of course, poking in on him will just be met with a series of shots. As Modius now rotating down lower. KYS have kept their 3 heavies they committed on the left side of the map, quite far back.
I kind of like the play here by KYS to hold their heavies back, because I think if Chief's kind of holding a couple tanks back too, but He's just definitely don't want to give up a push or an overmatch to anyone here. Really.
Yeah. But it's definitely worthwhile keeping those 50Bs back just for the damage burst potential. But sending the Super Conqueror up to the top, that was good. The interesting one here was the STB-1 for me. I've not seen that pick since its HD model nerf.
Did it get unnerfed? Because, or did they like change back some of the things?
Oh wow!
Or is it still the same from
Chief blindly pushing up over the hill and getting double tapped. The IS-7 there took out his ammo. Not sure if he's repaired it. Looks like he has.
Now they know kind of where their heavies are at least.
Rupture now rotating back out to help out Virality and Maximus.
Magna took another shot there, I think, too, as well.
Possibly, unless it was HE. It looks very minimal. It was on 1900 after his last exchange. Tanks there, finally getting a... looks again like an HE shell put into him. Rupture now has taken a hit as well, as the damage starts to even itself out. KYS have got a slight lead, 1%. That's just been bumped up to 4% as Hatch takes another round to bring him down to 900.
Chill out a little bit. He's taking these shots. Definitely don't want to be giving up your hit points.
Definitely not, because now the push is coming. As KYS commit the 5A and the 50B, as well as the IS-7, keeping one 5A back. I think that's obviously to try and get shots on Hatch if he does poke. As he now moves forward. Great shot there from Magna Flashboy into the Super Conf for 400.
Hatch fucking putting his shot in there. Good shot by him.
Chief bringing it back to a little bit more of a closer game now, and there is going to be a big push soon, I would imagine. One of these teams is going to try and win this.
Magna has rotated to cover his heavy tanks though, which is, I think, a good spot to be in. But he is spotted now.
It also gives them the cover over on the mediums to the far right side. Rexo taking a poke, bouncing a shot, I think. Petraki again, bouncing one off of Virality's 5A. So looking for side shots on the STB-1. Rupture rotates around. I think they're going to make a push on the three mediums in the middle. I think Rupture's rotation is unknown to Chief, and they're going to find a big open match here.
Feel like it looks like he's rotating it as they hit each other. After Ninja,
it looks like the push is going to come on the top. I wonder if Chief will realise that early enough to push the three heavies that are down low as well.
After Ninja kind of holding back, he now knows where the batch hets are. He could put in a clip here. Oh, I think their spidey senses are tingling. They get out of there.
Rated definitely calling that early. Probably gone the wrong way there to get away from it as he gets tracked out in the open to still have his repair kit. And there we go. He's push now coming in from KYS in the top. Looks like Chief are going to counter that and rotate through into KYS's three heavies that are down low. Magna taking some punishment down to 500 hit points. Looks like he's just getting blind fired. And here comes a push from Chief. Rated goes down. Chief pushing down low. Maximus fires into the back of his teammate. Rexio takes 2 hits to bring him down to 700. Morality down on 600 as Pure Light comes in over the top. Chief need to be quick here and not lose hit points. Down goes Rexio. Pure Light getting in on the back of Maximus.
Revered's also going to get pushed here.
Revered goes down and it's a 2-all. Now. Back to the game of patience.
Now it's just going to be a readjust. Magna taking a hit from Genuine. He might go down. He does.
Magna does go down, and that's crucial, because if the score stays how it is, KYS will come away with a win.
Most of KYS's heavy tanks are decent hit points as well. Although, main
Aside
hit
from
points are
Virality.
relatively close.
Yeah. Virality and Jokers are really the two that Chief need to focus most.
Rupture.
Ben
might
getting
Get
clipped.
some shots on them.
Yep. Rupture gets 3 out of his 4 into Ben and goes on a reload. I don't think he fired the 4th. I just think he knew he wouldn't have the shot.
No.
Hatch now
Genuine Joke
looks
Terrier
to
is
be
gonna
getting
have
pushed.
Foxhound gonna get clipped out here.
Chief just getting swarmed here now. Foxhound. Hatch does go down. Giving KYS a firmer take on this. Scores are 4-2. Looks like Pure Light's just going to try come in and get the STB1 out.
I'm surprised he didn't go for that bat shot there. Although he maybe thought he was on knew he was on a reload.
Pure Light goes in, but in the meanwhile KYS did take another tank out as Pure Light takes another
Oh,
one
he
out.
did get choking.
Chief now have 12
Oh, can
seconds
he
to
get
take
the
out
fire?
Asmodeus as they do get a fire.
they're both
Foxhound is on a
reloading.
reload as well as Pure Light. Ben unable to get round and finish him as Foxhound falls down. That could have gone either way.
That was very close.
KYS come out on top to take a 2-1 lead. Joker's there having a best of the games, coming out with 3.3k damage.
Mhm.
And Bad Chat
Again,
Rated didn't really get off to a start.
It's tough on that ridge there to make something happen. It really is. You got to have a lot of patience as a bat chat player. And I know I definitely couldn't do what they do up there because I just don't have the patience. But yeah, it's a good fight.
It definitely was, and it's very easy to watch it from our perspective and see where the tanks are committed and try and make
Thoughts on what
you know,
do,
calls.
etc. Yeah.
But oh god, it was on which side, Chief? Needs to be on the other side. Oh yes. Looks so your game is still on schedule, Tankers, although if this one gets a win in Chief's favour, it will more than likely be delayed.
Yeah, we already agreed if this game doesn't finish up on a decent time, we could push it back to 6:30.
So really here, interesting situation. Chief essentially have nothing to lose. They're down 2-1. In essence, there's one game left, unless they can win and take it to a tiebreaker. So, they have nothing to lose. KIS, on the other hand, will probably want to seal the win out, but at the same time don't necessarily need to. Getting a win over Chief, their nearest competitors, it doesn't matter whether it's 3-1 or 2-1, I would imagine, for them. The STB1 certainly has surprised me. They did unnerf its reload, but I don't think they changed. When they changed it, the HD model, I believe the turret armor was affected by it. It wasn't as
really
good. It could be wrong, but
STB1
we'll
is one of those tanks I unlocked to wanting to play it, and then when I played it, it just wasn't my tank. Gun handling kind of made me come off of it.
That's the major downfall to it, is its gun handling is just atrocious. But I suppose when you're up close, that doesn't make too much of a difference.
If you can get in a nice hold down location up close, and you can just farm for days, because the reload is fantastic in the DPM.
So then, 20 seconds on the clock. KYS coming out with a Grill 15, an STB1, a Batchat, 2 Super Conks, a 50B, and 2 5.8s. Chiefs on the other side, E4, STB1, Batchat, 2 I7s, 2 Super Conks, and a 50B. E4 and the Grill are interesting picks. E4's kind of standard the Grill. I'd imagine he's going to be sat back somewhere sniping.
Now, I could see them sticking the Grill kind of in the B9 corner, perhaps. I don't know how easy it is to spot that, but it's kind of where I would think he would be sitting, unless he's sitting kind of the town, but I can't see that, considering the mediums on the hill can spot him more easily.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to commit the Grill to an area where it's going to be spotted until late game, just because it's a hit point magnet. Like, people will shoot it because anything can pen it.
Yeah, especially if the Super Conks have that hash rounds loaded. Doesn't makes great work of that.
I mean, they could commit it up into where Virality is spawned, over on the hill in sort of J9.5 line, just to cover the middle hill. But you could stick a pattern there and it would do a better job. Although it looks like that's where they're going to commit it early on.
Interesting spot.
KYS again committing the Super Conk into the middle as Chief commit the STB1 and the Batchat early. Hatch looks to have stayed back as well. Or unless he's making that push through the middle. Box and Jokers get spotted on either team. EK coming up, Box just taking a reload there. I don't know if that was intentional or forced as Hatch.
Taking a hit from the E4.
Hatchback delivering a nice slap in the face.
Both TDs are kind of serving the same purpose here, to tag any medium that gets overconfident and pushes too hard.
Rated surely going to get spotted as he goes up there. No, just in time. Yes, he does. As does Virality. And that's crucial for KYS, because now they know that the 50B's there before he can get his shots off. And
genuine Jokers will probably know not to get too aggressive there, which is a good spot for the 50B, because that kind of keeps their medium tanks at bay, vision-wise.
KYS keeping the 50B all the way back there as well is an interesting one, as again it looks like they've just kept 3 tanks over towards the cap early on, not overcommitting. 5A, I wouldn't have thought the 5A would do as well there as an IS-7 with Maximus, as he gets spotted and spots the IS-7 in return. Boxan, on the other hand, has taken a shot. Doesn't look like it was from the Grill. Looks more like a trade-off, either the Super Conk or the Batchat. Revered now rotating back round to help him as Boxan swaps out and goes back to the middle. Ben, on the other hand, is just driven straight through the middle of the map. Magnus sitting at the back as well, I think, as Hatchback has rotated back around. I think he's going to play with Maximus in the 5A. Blind fire coming in from Magna. I think he's shooting the spot that he took up in the last game. Maximus there getting spotted, as well as return spot for Hatchback. KOS now will know that the E4's rotated. May commit their middle push a little bit more. EK now begins poking a little bit more. But they do have the cover from Rated in the 50B. It's an interesting position from Mystical Ben and the Super Conk.
Problem with
Chief,
that position is I really don't feel like that position has an opportunity for much shots or anything like that. So he's going to rotate out of there. He knows that.
Boxhound here is taking another shot. He's down to 1,003 hit points. Looks like Ben's going to rotate back round and help out the mediums in the middle. Magna has rotated around as well. Looks to be blind firing. I think he's blind firing where he thinks the Grill 15 is, but of course it hasn't been spotted, and Chief don't know that he's still over where they spawned. Ben, on the other hand, now has been spotted. Dead even game, 95% hit points remaining. Remember, if KYS end this with a draw, they do win the series. So the onus is on Chief if they want to take it to a tiebreaker.
This game has been a little bit more slow paced than the others, which makes sense considering one team has their loss on the line. It's basically in their hands.
Looks like Rupture has rotated. I don't know if that was because he was spotted, or just part of the strat.
I just think he hasn't got enough shots there to feel like it's worth sitting there anymore. So he's going to rotate out, and he probably figures he's got better shots on these Super Conks that are trying to get aggressive on EK there.
Rated punishing tanks over Zealous push as Genuine looks to have pushed over on the top. Looks like Boxhound's rotated round to the back of the spawn to try and cover that. Joker's here looking to get shots in the rear of the Super Conk and the STB in the middle. Looks like Chief as well have committed their heavies up to take control of that hill in the middle. Hatch now as well set up to try and cover the two tanks in the middle. Tank's taking another shot there, but Ben took one in return as well. Hit points still pretty much even, with 3 minutes and 50 seconds on the clock, both sitting at around 90% each. It looks like the commitment's coming at the top from Chief.
I think KYS might be sensing the push or something because they're starting to rotate some tanks to cover Virality because he would be the main push, I would feel.
Yeah. Rupture now would be the time for them to push if they had the vision that we had, with Rupture being behind that hill there. Rexio getting spotted in his Super Conk. Will he be spotted? Rupture, I wonder. Magnus still convinced that Rupture is in the position you called out first there. Tanker, I've seen about 6 shots being blind fired down into there.
Yeah.
Slowly winding down now as we're left with around 2.5 minutes left now in this
Genuine
chest.
Joker
Looks like
spotted. He could be kind of caught out. He looks like he's clipping on.
he is spotted now
Ben.
as he takes 2.
That could be Boxhound's chance to get a tank out.
Oh,
Chief could take this one if they can get him out. That should
looks like
be
EK's going to rotate to help him as well, but I think that's a lost cause. Box does take him down, and now if Chief can hold on to this one tank lead, that will draw it up. Magna with a beautiful snap into virality.
Good play on Chief to get that tank out. That's what they needed. As long as they can hold up and keep focused on the win here.
Rupture now knows I think that the push may come on the top as he's rotating back round to try and give some help there. I think KYS here are going to try and push out on Boxhound, being on the lowest health points. They can't push in the mid. Chiefs majorly committed in there. Nice to see though. I mean, it didn't work out for KYS, but it was nice to see that they weren't going to play for a draw. They were trying to commit in there and get jokers in behind them to take Box out and possibly win. Ben now down to 800 hit points. He needs to be careful.
EK's got to keep his hit points if they want to make a play happen without losing him and maybe someone else. The better EK is on, but it's an STB1 as well, so he doesn't have that burst to maybe take out a tank as soon as possible. Rupture Ninja, however, has the potential to one-shot him, so Rupture can get
Boxhound does get spotted and Rupture hasn't been spotted, so that push is going to come on. I don't know if Box is premeditating. No, he's not going to see that Grill 15 till it's too late. The question is, will Rupture get the shot off in time? There we go.
Oh, you low rolled! Oh my lord! You better go buy a lottery ticket. Oh my god. Boxhound should keep his hit points.
Does take him out as well as the commitment from the 50B comes in to try and take out.
Rupture's got to be shaking his head at that one. Mystical Ben might go down here though.
It says Modius in return is going to go down as he didn't make his clip count chief with a 2-tank lead, and I think
turn on the fence.
Wow.
I feel bad for Rupture, dude. That was crazy. 630 on a 750 Alpha gun. Oh my god.
You've got to be screaming at that point, right? You've got to be cursing everything under the sun.
I would be losing my mind right now.
And not only did he not kill Boxhound, but it got him killed in return as well. Yeah. I think that's the just sort of salt in the wound.
That could have been like all he's going to just take the one shot, he penned it, and then it would have been game over because he would have got back over that hill and he would have been fine. But low rolled for 630. Oh my god. Sorry to laugh, but just because it frustrates me too. Like, ugh. So now we go to Ghost Town. Both teams taking one victory on each other's maps.
I'm speechless. I really feel for Rupture Ninja there. It's heartbreaking.
Like he made the correct play. Yeah, they made the correct play. They did what they needed to do to try to even it up, and it just in the World of Tanks is just like nope.
Not today, young sir.
Yeah, it's yeah, shitty luck, man.
KYS. Party crashed. I don't know if the party crashed or they just immediately all rage quit. Just with that.
Oh yeah, I'd probably do the same. Don't play with one bit.
I mean, it's not quite on par. There was a PC final that got decided by a bat chat being on a one shot and it bounced. The shot, the kill shot on the bat chat bounced.
I also seen a PC final for like a lot of money, but he was doing a cliff climb and he went to go down and he rolled his tank. And unlike console, they're stuck for good. They don't just get a mercy flip over.
Yeah, there's no anti-flip. It's your team either helps you or you're stuck.
Yeah.
So the score's here at 2-all. Chief have got to be buzzing after that. Boxers. Knowing Box personally, I can just imagine the scream of desperation as the grill poked up and spotted him, and he knew what was coming, and then to not die, we left on 15 HP.
Yeah, that's a little bit insane. I would be going nuts if I was box hounded. I'd be like, oh my god! He couldn't do it. Craziness, man. Looks like they're ready if you want to start a timer. You're on it. You are on top of things, sir.
Looks like we got a couple of randoms in here.
KYS coming out with the Type 5 Heavy. Just kidding.
Wow.
And their new top recruit.
I mean, it's kind of viable. I suppose it depends on the caliber of your opponent.
Yeah.
And also with the way their luck is going tonight.
Wouldn't take any
I
chances.
wouldn't attempt it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Chief
just
not looking to screw around here, pulling out 2 E4s.
It's anyone's game at this point.
So, down to the last 30 seconds. KYS on the tiebreaker map on Ghost Town coming out with a Bat Chat. The object 277, 257 heavies, 2 super conks, and 2 5.8s. Chief on the other side coming out with 2 E4s, a Bat Chat, an IS7, the 705A, 2 super conks, and a 50B. This is it. All cards on the table. Last chance saloon. Remember, if this does end in a draw, neither team will get the 3-round series bonus points, and it will end as a draw 2-all.
There you go.
Which I imagine for KYS would not be the end of the world. Obviously, they'd like to get the win. Chief, on the other hand, will want to win. I think that will just put some more belief back into them that they are still in with a chance of winning this. What's going on in chat, Dingy?
Yeah.
I do enjoy Sir Tubbins. He doesn't say much, but he's one or
He
two
like
lines
hides
every week.
Yeah, and he's like that guy that hides in the closet till the right opportune moment to get under someone's skin, and then he just pokes his head out, says his 2 things, and goes back in the closet.
And no, I'm not suggesting that he has come out of the closet, although that would be okay as well.
Yeah, he's free to do so whenever he feels is right.
No judgment here in GTL.
No.
So, early on, Looks like KYS are going to commit down over onto the left side of the Ghost Town map as Chief looks to have rotated around to the right. Well, it looks like Chief has split out quite
Boxhound
evenly
kind of
across the
in
map.
in a spot where he's just going to get eliminated. I don't know
Yeah, it
what's
looks like
going
Boxhound is going to go down early on.
Is he legged out? Or,
I don't
Genuine
know, Joker's
loading.
now on a reload.
I think it's just going to be... but that being said, Genuine's going to reload before Boxhound, so... Boxhound's not going to get out of there with the 257 heavies watching his retreat. I think Boxhound's going to go down here.
57s are waiting on Boxhound, and it looks like this is going to be an early tank lead. Boxhound between a rock and a hard place here. Genuine.
Yeah.
Certainly going to reload before him. I suppose crucially it comes down to whether Genuine
unless
can.
Boxhound can pull something out of his... Yeah, you know where I'm going with that.
Yeah.
Looks
well,
like it's going to be...
way-
the,
No, that definitely didn't work.
He gets one
He did
shot
at least
in.
get one
but
shot
he-
in though.
He
Raid
ran into
making
the
an
wall
early
there.
commitment here to try and get the batch out,
Raided
and is
might be
paying
a
for it
50
heavily.
out for- He did...
Surprised though that
50,
the 57s didn't shoot him.
Ooh. See, and,
It does level it up, but
yeah.
it cost him a lot of his hit points.
they
As
even
he now
score
forces
50
a reload.
57s cannot rotate in time to get him out, but Rated M will be stuck there for the entire game. Looks like Rupture's going to rotate to try to get Rated out. And as he is pinned there, Hatchback Killer might rotate to cover Rated a little bit here.
Rexio getting an early HE shot into Revered to take out, looks like 83 hit points. That shot was not, as he rolls for 500, look like, on the side of Revered.
Rated.
Raid again now in the same position as Box, stuck between a rock and a hard place as Rupture looks to go over and get a shot into him. He does.
57's rotating as
Rupture.
well.
Rupture very carefully positioned his tank behind his dead teammate to not get shot in return. He's now
Looks like they
reloaded
will
and
get
can probably
raided
take
up
that
here.
shot. Yeah.
There they go.
It does eventually go down as Hatch now stuck out in the open. The 5As will
Hatch-
commit, they could probably bounce as a shot there, Hatch.
Hatch has got to be careful here with the 2 and 5 A's in position to take a shot. Rexio taking some hits there.
Rexio getting double tapped. I don't know if that was an E4 who penned him as well. Revered now getting tracked out in the open. Looks like Tanks is going to have side shots on them as well as they make the commitment in. But like Chief tried to commit KYS into position so that they could push over on the overmatch, but it's just not worked.
Chief working
KYS
very
able
hard
to defend it well.
Yeah, looks like player 42135 is going to try to take some hits for Rexio, while Tanks continues to farm those tanks on the side. Just good play by him.
It just seems like
Chief's kind
KYS
of caught out at
have
the moment. Yeah.
have kind of every corner covered. Every tank is covered by another tank. Apart from Rupture here, but I mean he's not really here nor there into the game. KYS still with a 1 tank lead, leading 2-1. Chief now need to reevaluate. I think they just need to take a step back. Decisive now rotating back round. Looks like he's going to try and get some shots on tanks through the middle. Chief still have Stux and Ben on full health. You know, 7 and the 705A. KYS have a 5A, the 277, the 257s and a Supercomp still on full health. So leading on hit points as well as tanks. I think Chief here, oh, Decisive does get spotted on his move down. Magna looking to rotate back round to give him some cover. Tank's trying to get himself out of the line of sight.
Again, it's now, if KYS wants to win this way, it's now just a waiting game for Chief to make a play, being that they are in the tank lead.
KYS here have got the advantage in every sense.
Plus their hit
Chief.
points, so they can
Chief in
throw their
essence
hit
have
points
to
around
push
if they
without
need to.
Revered, and they need to make a push on to Rexio to eliminate him. But they can't make that push with Revered because it's counterintuitive. They may get Rexio, but Revered will certainly go down being on 420.
What they do, and again, this is from our point of view because we can see everybody, but Magna is actually gonna spot tanks here, and he's gonna keep tanks off. That'll give, I guess, it would give a push on Rexio if they needed it. He's right backed up, so now they have that fucking push open there. But again, they can't see what we're seeing.
Now, in essence, you would say Asmodeus to push in through up to put pressure on Magna as Hatch rotates down with Decisive. Looks like Chief are going to push both the E4 and the Superconch over on one side of the map. Both E4s and the Superconch to one side of the map as Magna rotates low. Gets spotted doing so. Repositioning to allow the E4s to come out and get their shots in.
The only problem is I think as soon as those E4s get spotted, KYS might make the counter push. They can also poke tanks back in the middle to maybe help them out.
Hatch does get spotted up as Asmodeus now is going to come in and try and get that clip off into him. Hatch with an important roll there on 900.
Taking crazy shots. Like you said, they just have tanks everywhere to cover everybody's retreat.
There we go.
Looks like Asmodeus is might clip out Magna Flashball here. I don't know how much he's got in his magazine.
Revered should not have been the man to push
last
there.
shot. Asmo gonna be on reload. Be interesting to see. Looks like, like I said, KYS might make their counter push here. It could also be just trying to hold as long as they can. I mean, they are like I said before, they're still in their hands. They don't need to make any drastic plays at the moment. It's all in CHF's hand, Chief's hands.
In amongst all of that, you've got Revered on 5 hit points. Magna did go down as Asmodeus has rotated round. Decisive only managed to track him, and Asmodeus is going to come in and just unleash his clip. He does get set on fire though. Brilliant shot from Starks, and that puts him down to a decent roll. Oh, a very good roll from Decisive as Chief bring one tank back. Now sitting at 43 with...
Rexio's got to be the play here, or Pat. His 5A. Mystical Ben, I feel like he needs to put his tank in the game here. He's been chilling, but he's covering the flanks. Stuck's gonna go for that. I don't think he could finish anybody here. It might come down to the wire. Stuck's
only managing to get a track shot in. I think they were holding their shot for Revered as Chief make a push in here on the back to get Rexio. Will he do it in time? He does, bringing it to 4-all.
Can Stucks stay alive for, and he does. It's gonna be GG, and it's a draw. Oh my god, what a game by both teams there. Good on Chief to pull some tanks back and get the draw. Wow.
That was fantastic. Yeah, look, it looked like Box had firstly lagged and then rated overcommitted into something. And honestly, Chief should have lost that quite easily. I think KYS were just kind of grouped up and allowed Chief to reposition and bring it back, and good on them for doing it. Yeah, 2 different points within the game. They were 2-0 down and 4-2 down. and they still managed to bring it back to 4-all to take it for a tie, and points are shared. So neither team really coming out with an advantage there. It certainly favours KYS in the standings, but you can be pretty proud of that. I think that's a fairly solid result for them.
I think any team that takes KYS to 2-2 draw, or even if they were to lose in overtime, any team that gives them a challenge is where it's good to see.
I think. Are you guys still happy to start your game at 6:30?
Yes, I think that's the plan. Which means I'll probably have to help out if you guys are if you're still planning on hosting.
Yeah, I mean,
cool.
Ding, I don't know if you want to cut the stream short just for a little bit. We will, of course, be back with another game, KYS again, featuring against NL. NL currently third in the standings, so will be a very good game.
I'm hoping we can. I'm hoping we can give KYS as good of a challenge as Chief did. So.
My next stream is DP and Silva.
Oh.
If we have a commentator for that.
You have a commentator for that? Okay, so I'll stay in this room then. And,
I don't know. No one's confirmed yet.
And well, I mean, if you want me to come over, I'm free to whoever you're streaming.
Okay.
Yeah, I could just. I do think we're home, so I can just mod our games. Yeah. It's no big deal. So if you want to go with Dingy and commentate on that, I'll.
Yeah, that should be a good matchup as well. I think that Pro League's looking really tight. It's really it's who's beaten the other team most at the minute. Everyone's dropping games to teams that they shouldn't, so it's really turning out.
I mean, that's what we want to see, right? We don't want it to be just one team dominating the other. We want to see some close games and close series. When it comes to playoffs, every team is,
What time are you streaming that one, Thingy? What time is it?
I think it starts in 30 minutes.
Okay, cool. 7. Cool. Look, we still on stream?
Yeah, I'm about to cut it.
All right. Well, for those who did come in and watch, big thank you to you guys. Coming up next, we've got DP vs Silva, which is the North American Pro Division. Again, as we were saying, two very good teams. Both teams trying to go for the win in the series, and we'll see you in roughly 30 minutes for that one.
Alright guys, like you said, next one is DP and Silva. That is 30 minutes from now. And for those of you that are wanting to watch the full match, I will be putting this up on YouTube as soon as possible. Definitely going to be up there today for you guys to watch. So wait for that, and I'll see you guys on the next match. Later.